Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Claudio? I think I'm going to try and say Claudio. This is the first Claudio we've had in the game, and he looks like he's come fresh from the mountains, or he's still there because it is snowing. He looks like he's been on a skiing trip, but he is wearing particular armor. If you're a fan of the comic book, you know that it's Commonwealth armor, and you can see Commonwealth is below his name. So that is a bit of a giveaway. You can see he's got an attached weapon, a nice looking pistol flashing away. We will check that out later in the video. Got that axe on his back. He's got a little bag of goodies. On the left hand side you can see he's adjusting a trap. Now you can see that maybe there's a walker foot just sitting there. Very interesting. The walker got away, but he's a pirate. He is actually a pirate walker now. And I laugh saying a pirate because if you look at Claudio's face, he's also maybe got like a pirate's patch on his eye. Interesting indeed. Now, I believe Claudio's going to come to the game as part of a stash. More details on how that's going to actually work out to come. But we'll look at his stats, and you can see he is a level 720 LB3 character. He is going to have 12,550 attack, 17,571 defense, and 20,081 HP. So very defensive based. Alert character, of course. A medic. We don't get too many medics. Gold Mythic character, and he is, again, like I said, going to be joining the Commonwealth Allegiance, making it the third, I believe. I want to say it's Frost, Pam, and now Claudio. Am I wrong? And I'm calling him Claudio when I said I was going to call him Claudio. We'll see if we can actually remain consistent in this video. Now, first, check out the Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Look Alive. It is a 55 AP cost rush, so kind of what you would expect on a character that seems to be more of a defense team character. Heal this character for 100% of their max HP per turn for the rest of combat. Heal one other alert teammate for 100% of their max HP. So obviously split into two. He's going to drastically improve his sustainability. This will obviously be reduced by heal reduction, but if you have 50% heal reduction on him and it wears off, the next turn it will just go back up to 100%. It isn't going to have a permanent reduction on that HP there. This can be stolen. It's just worth noting, it can be stolen. But if he rushes again, well, it's back again. The 100% HP is just going to be a flat HP heal to any other alert teammate. And because he's alert, obviously he's going to be in those alert defense teams, no doubt. So this is quite nice for a medic. We have had some of these a long time ago, quite early on in the, I think like the 5-star era, where we had medics that just 100% healed somebody on the team. And it was actually pretty hard to deal with at the time. But now with Mythics, these characters, especially behind Pamela leaders, well, we're looking at like 70k HP. So you're looking at a massive heal potentially here. Okay, so I figured one of the best ways to show you this was just him on a defense team. He has got his Adrenaline Rush ready, as you can see. And I'm just going to hit this character here. You can see they've got a little bit of HP lost. This one's down to about, I don't know, 30% HP, 40% HP in GFN, and he is about 90%. Now he's going to do his rush, as you're going to see, and it's going to heal him 100% for the rest of combat, and it's going to heal the other alert teammate to 100% HP. Now, depending on the character specialist passives, this can proc other things, you know, but it's guaranteed to be a 100% heal. So if someone's at like 80%, there would be effectively an 80% overheal after that initial 20%, and like I said, it will play into passives and specialist skills right now or in the future if they ever come out. Now if we look at the upgrades, you can see at grade 2 it goes from a 50% heal for the rest of combat to 100% heal for the rest of combat really early in that rush. At grade 4 it gets an upgrade where the alert teammate gets 50% health. Initially a teammate wasn't getting healed. And then at Limit Break 1, that goes up to 100% HP heal on that alert teammate. And at LB3, it goes to 55 AP. Up until that point, I would assume it would be 66 AP. That's generally how it goes. You have the 3 main grades of AP, which is 55, 66, and 75. So generally when it has it reduces from the 1 above. That's my guess anyway. And 55 AP is a lot nicer, just because then he'd be able to hold a fully stat-based weapon, wouldn't have to use any AP on attack to get this going. And this is actually quite a nice heal to just have pop off at any point. There's no real downsides to this at all, so very nice if it just actually happens. Now we'll go across and check out Claudio's signature move, and it's called Burnt Wounds. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 1, cooldown of 1 turn, number of uses unlimited. Up to 3 enemies get 5,000 bleed damage for 2 turns. All fast enemies get daze for 2 turns. Now, I think a lot of people will look at this and say, well, bleed isn't that much of an issue, and there are definitely ways to deal with that right now. But a lot of the ways to deal with it are fast characters on their signature moves. So this is kind of countering a lot of the ways some people may actually see that they could effectively counter bleed, because there's, Carol, Herschel, and Lydia with lots of cleanse on their signature moves. Those signature moves will not actually be able to work, and it isn't RNG who it's going to focus. It's going to focus all of them because they're all fast. So that's kind of interesting. So if you're going to not use any sort of reduction characters out there, then you're going to be having problems. So if you're going to be building, let's say, a full fast team to take on these prayer teams, and then someone just decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to throw a Claudio on that defense team. He's not getting those bonuses off the leader skill, but that signature move will be annoying. Well, it will indeed be annoying. So there's definitely some interesting surprise attacks that I think this guy is going to be used for. Okay, so we're going to be attacking Claudio on a defense team again. I'm just going to defend with all my teammates because I don't want to use those signature moves off turn 1 because there's no bleed. I want to use them on turn 2. However, we're going to run into that issue where when Claudio uses his signature move, what happens? You are going to see lots of days on my fast characters. This means I can't swipe left. It doesn't even allow me to swipe left. And then this bleed is going to come through and it is going to do 10,000 damage. Obviously, when you've got your characters fully kitted out as damage dealers with lieutenants and stuff, you can get around about, I think, 22 to 25,000 HP. But a lot of the time you don't really want to give your damage dealers like HP mods in any way or HP on their weapons. So any level of bleed is going to be a problem, especially if you're going to get focused by that defense team. A lot of the damage dealers actually do. And also remember that bleed will always bypass bonus HP. So if you are using, let's say, a fast character like Skins to give combat medic bonus HP procs, the bleed will bypass. So you're maybe going to have to switch up some ideas, maybe put an actual resist to daze on some characters, or maybe even bleed resist is going to make a comeback. We'll have to wait and see. Now I know what you're thinking, there are characters out there that have like reductions or maybe even resists or other things in the game. There's a lot of bleed and burn resist stuff in the game, but this is helping to combat quite a lot of it when it comes to bleed. And even if the bleed isn't an issue, daze is. The daze is actually pretty bad. A lot of signature moves are really nice. Heavy hitting, good multipliers off of weapons and stuff like that. You can do some hefty damage, sometimes a lot of control on those signature moves. So even if the bleed isn't a problem, daze is going to be. And like I said, if you put them in the right teams, it's a surprise like pick in certain defense teams. It's just going to be frustrating and slow things down a little bit more. If we see the upgrades, you can see at grade 3 it gets -1 to cooldown, so it goes from a 3-turn cooldown down to a 2-turn cooldown. At grade 5 it gets -1 to starting cooldown, so it goes from a 2-turn starting cooldown down to a 1-turn starting cooldown. And then at LB2 it gets -1 to cooldown again, so it goes from a 2-turn cooldown down to a 1-turn cooldown. And at this point, once you've got him to LB3 based on his rush speed being 55, he will be able to get natural rushes all the time because of the signature move being 35 and his basic attack's going to be giving him over 20. So it will always have 55 AP. Unless he's being controlled in certain ways like AP drain and stuff like that, the obvious stuff. But left to his own devices, he's going to be rushing absolutely fine. Now we'll check out Claudio's mythic abilities. These are his passives. He has got Spirit, of course, because he's a medic. So 20% of all of his healing performed on his character, also granted his bonus HP. Now, when it comes to his rush, I think it only gives him bonus HP on the actual HP he gets healed. So, if he's got 50% HP and he's got the 100% heal, he'll only get bonus HP based off of the 50% he receives. He hasn't got any overheal statuses in his kit, but that might work on someone else, basically, another alert character on that 100%, however. And the next one is Abnormal Crew. At the start of each wave, 100% chance all alert teammates get 100% normalized resistance for 1 turn. This is very interesting. Kind of makes, a future all alert team a possibility. And that is actually kind of good protection because if you know how it works with alert characters, if you have a full alert team, you can protect against normalize on the first turn, and then on the second turn you can get a full team defense buff based on a defense alert buffs weapon, effectively alert defenses, and everyone would have 50% defense boost. So even if they did have someone get normalized, like a bide character or something like that, they've got a big chance of surviving any incoming damage where they would normally have counters and stuff like that. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. The next one is called Blunted Blade. At the start of each wave, 60% chance a single fast enemy gets minus 30% attack and attack up block for 2 turns. He seems to be very aggro against fast characters. So potentially he could work in a future team where it's like alert and tough characters in the same team, where he's debuffing these fast characters, protecting his tough teammates. It's actually kind of interesting. And it seems like while he could have potential power right now, it looks like he could have even more power in the future based on other characters and other teams that could potentially come out. The last passive is called Doctor's Advantage. At the start of each turn, 100% chance this character recovers from heal reduction. Obviously, the combination with his adrenaline rush is insane. And the fact that he has the potential of having very high HP because he could be on like a PAM team in the meantime, that means that HP is always going to get healed up. That is kind of rough. That is kind of rough. Obviously, he's susceptible to just being hard nuked. Damage is going to be not going to be an issue, but that's where those alert defense weapons come in, where he could get a defense boost and potentially like bonus HP. I think Mr. Lu gives bonus HP to alert characters. So there are definitely some synergy characters out there that are going to help Claudio have some survivability, but he's got some pretty decent stuff in his own kit to keep himself looked after as well. Okay, so we're going to attack the same team here, and you can see that we did have a resist come in of Herschel's leader skill. This is because of the normalized resist, so it does counter Herschel quite a bit, and obviously any other normalized characters off of turn 1. So Titan would have to save his normalized to turn 2. I'm going to get a little bit of heal reduction in, and you're going to see it get cleansed on the next turn, as you can see. And then what will happen is the rush will come in now, but I'll do a heal reduction again. Like, what we're going to do is we're going to stop that heal from doing as big a heal, right? Well, I don't think so. It should cleanse it first, and then the rush should come in, and it should heal him up. There you go. You can see he only got 621 bonus HP, and that's because the heal he received was only 3,101. If I do more damage against him, let's just hit him up a little bit. What should happen now is, because he's lost quite a lot of HP, the bonus HP is scaled higher. He gained 15,000. This time he gained 3,000 bonus HP. Obviously, the higher HP he heals, the more bonus HP he's going to actually receive. That's going to be the same for the teammate that gets healed by his rush as well. So we'll look at the upgrades on these passives, and you can see that Abnormal Crew Part 1 comes in at grade 1, and that's a 50% chance to get 100% normalized. At grade 2, you can see Spirit Part 1 comes in, and that is going to be the first half of his roll passive. And at grade 3, you can see that he gets the second half of Abnormal Crew. So he gets the 100% normalized for alert characters, and that includes himself on turn 1, quite early on his upgrades. That's actually pretty decent. You can see for the other basic grades, grade 4, he gets the first half of Blunted Blade. So that's 20% chance a single fast enemy gets minus 30% attack and attack up block for 2 turns. Doctor's Advantage Part 1 at grade 5. 50% chance this character recovers from heal reduction. So even there, that's pretty decent chance to recover from heal reduction. But when we get into the limit breaks, of course, he's going to get the second half of Spirit. So that means that bonus HP is just going to be topped up a little bit more. Blunted Blade 2 makes it a 60% chance total with a 40% addition. And that's going to be that minus 30% attack to a single fast enemy and the attack up block for 2 turns. As well as in LB3, Doctor's Advantage 2, and that'll go up to a 100% chance that this character recovers from heal reduction. So, quite nice again. Up to a LB3, he's going to get the boost on his rush. He's going to get one of the better boosts on his passives. The heal reduction removal is obviously really nice. You could counter this character with characters like Mike, like maybe even Shiva. Any characters that have sort of heal reduction on their kits are not going to be able to help you here. They're not actually going to be able to help you at all. Now, you may have noticed that Claudio has a special skill that we have seen before, but it's the second version of it, and it's going to have a bit of a boost to it, and it is going to be Tenacity 2. If this character's health is above 20% and they take damage that would kill them, their health would be reduced to 19% instead. This character cannot be decapped. This is honestly crazy, and I will see if it works with crosshairs as well. Obviously, this can be normalized, but he's got protections against that in his kit as well. But, you know, your basic ways of taking him out, you can still take him down, but it means he's revivable pretty easily. Unless you obviously got the normalize in, he's just going to be a revivable target at all times. And you know there's characters out there right now where, like, if you attack them, it just procs a chance to revive a teammate. Or like Davey off the turn, he just has a chance to revive a teammate that's on the floor. Well, Claudio, if he is taken out, he's going to be in that situation where he's just going to be revivable all the time, which is, like I say, it's going to be a problem. It does mean you could potentially have to leave him till last, and that's potentially going to slow down your fight because he's going to have heavy sustain. So you got to figure out a way to take him out when it's the opportune time. Maybe you're going to have to waste your normalize on this guy rather than maybe like a bide, and it's going to actually open up those sort of characters having a little bit more freedom in teams with him. And there is an alert bide out there, as you know. Okay, so we're going to attack the team. I've had to daze them because Vance was going to be using his taunt against my team, and we're primarily going to be trying to take out Claudio here. Now, he should get crosshairs off of this. It isn't that he has, like, resistance to crosshairs. It's just that crosshairs, I think, has no effect. So if we take him out, he shouldn't be decapped in this situation. He did see a resist. He, like, just straight up resists the decap. Now, if I attack Vance, we have a chance that his weapon could proc and just instantly pick up... instantly pick him up. Let's have a little chart. Wow, I've never had the weapon not proc this many times. Did I disarm? I must have disarmed it. I must have disarmed it before. We took him out. You know how Vance works. He's going to rush. He's going to halo. He's going to do his stuff. But then here comes the revive. So yeah, you might have to effectively waste your normalizers on this guy, and then I can see Steve kind of running riot on defense teams after that. And now, Claudio also has a weapon, and if we read it, it has 35% defense, 35% HP. He has self-healing when killing a target, a better chance to regain 100% HP, gain 50% bonus HP, and get 50% defense for 2 turns. That third slot is not really that useful for him, so I'd definitely be swapping that out for like a focused stun, especially if you want to use him on defense team. Now in the 4th slot, he's got when attacking a 40% chance to spread 1 negative status to an adjacent enemy for 1 turn. Can build it, I believe, in the armory for fast, and I think when you do it for fast characters, you can get a 100% chance. So it isn't the best version of that upgrade, but it is actually kind of interesting. This isn't as good as it could have been, and it seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be more of an offensive weapon of someone who is like a controller or something like that. Maybe a bit of a mismatch here when it comes to weapon and character. But the weapon does look cool, and it also looks cool when you can see the puffs coming out where he's breathing. I think that's a brand new thing. We might have seen that once before, but it is quite a rare thing, and I like it. It's obviously he's in the cold. Makes a lot of sense. Very interesting indeed. Do give me your thoughts on Claudio though, guys. That is going to be the end of my little video here. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.